everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with a burn stream. See how it goes. I am getting a little bit tired here this evening, so we'll see how long we go. Nothing too fancy about this list. It's the same list we've run back in the last couple of leagues. Still going with the 20 lands, Force on the Canyon, no Fiery Islet split. Still liking 4 Searing Blaze so far. What I saw in the Humans League this morning did a little dissuade me from this is the right number. We saw a couple of the Prowess decks, we saw a Spirits deck, so we saw a lot of tribal, a lot of creature decks this morning in their Humans sideboard. Obviously, Core Firewalker. When you see 2 as a Prowess decks, you generally want to leave your anti-red cards. Relic of Progenitus, still liking this card in the format, albeit it is a little bit slower than Rest in Peace in some spots, but it's nice to control kind of the mid-range graveyard-based decks like Tarmogoyf and Running 6, Jund and such, while still giving you a redraw late in the game. A couple copies of Wear Tear. Once again, I'm a little bit afraid of Leyline of Sanctity popping up here and there. 3 copies of Roiling Vortex. Whether this number should go down or not is one thing we're here to determine in this league, as the format might be moving away from free spells and life gain. And then 4 copies of Path to Exile. Don't leave home without it right now. Probably at least 2 is the minimum I always pack, and then the other 2 whenever you're seeing a lot of creature-based decks, whether it be Death Shadows, Heliod decks, etc. You generally want to have your creature removal lined up to be able to deal with problematic creatures, especially when you're playing against Core Firewalkers and Auriok champions galore, as well as Tarmogoyfs and Death Shadows and Scourges. You just don't want to get caught without your anti-creature tech, basically. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Did a stream this morning. The league went 2-3. That's probably the league that'll be up tomorrow, I'm guessing. I didn't get to record the additional burn leagues that I've done off camera last week yet, other than the one that I posted the other day. So, see how things go there. Sure, opponent good luck. Two lands on the play. Sign me up. Got this into Eidolon, so seems pretty good. Question is, I think I just fetch basic mountain here because our life total is in a little bit of peril. Although with Lightning Helix, I'm not really sure. Yeah, we'll get the Dole just to expedite things a little bit. Goblin Guide, go. Trigger, revealing. Swamp. Okay. Possibly Death Shadow in our future? No Luris, so seems less likely. Up against some type of Pox or something. Hard to say from a basic swamp. Black Prison, perhaps? I did see Fluffy, I think on Monday, was doing some type of Black Prison based deck that was utilizing this combination of cards plus Luris in the main deck. So I think we just serve with Goblin Guide, see if they have a Fatal Push here. Okay, so they're not. What on earth? Oh, I didn't have a stop in my main phase. Cool. I love it when random things pop up like that. Has 10 cards in hand. Okay. So I'm getting some Grixis Shadow vibes here. So I don't think we actually... fire off a burn spell. Like I said, I could be wrong. This could be some type of control deck, and I'm playing entirely wrong there. Meant to play the Eidolon last turn, but for some reason our main phase stop on the back end was no longer there. So... what on earth is going on over there? Okay. Had to play this guy last turn. Opponent Fatal pushes this. Dismember. Land would be a good draw. So pass here, stirring their mana a little bit. They have double whatchamacallit. It sucks for us, but otherwise... hopefully they follow up with a Tarmogoyf here. Okay. Good game, well played. Okay, so we're up against 3-color, possibly 4-color Traverse Shadow. So I definitely want the paths. Relic of Progenitus is a possibility. We don't want Searing Blaze because it doesn't really kill any of their creatures. We don't know if they're on Scourge or if they're just on Goyf Shadow, Goyf Shadow and Street Wraith. Roiling Vortex is too slow on the draw for Collective Brutality. Actually, it's too slow on the play too, for that matter. Um, she have 2 Eidolons on the draw. Like, Eidolon's a fine card, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit tricky to play correctly in this kind of a matchup. This hand's tricky, but I do think on the draw we can keep this hand. Especially since we're not in any particular hurry to damage our opponent. Like, if they Thoughtseize or Inquisition us, they're probably supposed to take Relic here. It's interesting, do they use Stubborn Denial on Relic of Progenitus? Tarmogoyf? Tarmogoyf. So in what world is Eidolon bigger than a Tarmogoyf? Apparently this one. Sure. For those of you wondering why I like Relic in this sideboard, this is a particular matchup why. For example. If they have Stubborn Denial, they have Stubborn Denial, it's whatever. Sure. Take Boros Charm, that's not a surprise. I'll probably get through the Fatal Push here. Play this, see if it gets Fatal Pushed. Trigger. Bill's Drown the Lock, which is a bit awkward. Let's get a basic mountain here. No, our opponent's drawing Drown in the Lock. They probably have a Shadow the way they were debating playing things. Yep. Again, continue attacking their graveyard. We don't have enough in ours to really... I mean... They have Stubborn now, they have Stubborn now. If they don't, then... Nice. That was a crazy game, but also illustrates a good example of why I like Relic in my sideboard in kind of the more open metas without the degenerate graveyard stuff, simply because it has a little bit more utility against the mid-range threats that are graveyard based. A little bit less, a little bit less good now that Uro is not in the format, but still good against Snap, still good against Tarmogoyfs, still okay against Wrenn and such. So it's not like a fantastic card by any means, but one lander on the draw, you say. This hand is interesting. Do you think we keep it, though? Again, if this were on the play, I'd probably have a much longer consideration about what's going on. Considering their 6-card hand, well, 7-card hand that they have to only get 6. Alright, they like their hand well enough, I suppose. Humans, perhaps? That'd be irony. Oh, Slivers. Alright, well, this is an interesting matchup. Can be a bit tricky. Especially if they have Diffusion, Sliver, and such. Not Diffusion, yeah, Diffusion. Diffusion and so whatchamacallit Mariner can be quite tricky to deal with. Yep, Unsettled Mariner. Such a fun Magic card. And they trade. Okay. It's like one of the best things that could happen for us. So we got the 30-30 sliver. Makes our Eidolon look pretty bad if they play Ether Vial this turn. We basically have Paths on the sideboard and maybe Roiling Vortex. Not really a lot. Maybe Wear Tear. Okay. Go face with this. This way we can play Skewer the Critics here. And continue to not draw lands. On the flip, which is annoying. Realm Walker. That's a tricky one. Land, please. No land. Tribal deck's gone wild. Definitely bringing in Path. Probably going down. The only other thing we could potentially consider is Core Firewalkers or Roiling Vortexes, and both of those seem pretty abysmal. I mean, yeah, our opponent got lucky on their flips, but we also, kept the one-lander and got punished, so... Once again, it's a one-lander, probably better than mulligan. This hand's a little bit better. Question is, what am I putting back here? One of the skewers? Feels like one of the skewers. Once again, argument for keeping the fetch land because of Searing Blaze is in our deck, but okay. Skull Crack's an interesting one here. Is that the one we fire off? I feel like that's the one we fire off. Yes, they can have life gain in their deck, but controlling the board's far more interesting to me. Sure. Actually, very interesting decision here. Path is dangerous because if they actually have basics in their deck, we're ramping them, which could be a problem. Especially since that silent clearing becomes more relevant. It's aiding our cause here. See if they have any basics in their deck. They do. Alright. Good to know they have basics. I'm not surprised they have at least one. Once again, click submit. I guess they could have something crazy like I think we keep this hand. A little bit awkward, but I do think we keep it. Really like to have a creature to pair with these like more controlling hands, but opponent's already mulliganing. We have 3 lands to operate, which means we can play through a Unsettled Mariner. Not ideal to draw a land there. Maybe I'm supposed to use one of the fetches. Yep, feels like an unsettled. Nope. Okay. Well, our opponent has a bunch of first strike and flying slivers. I think we kill the hasty one. If our opponent plays nothing, we get to play Boros Charm. If they play something we care about, we can always... Yeah, that's annoying, but also... Hopefully we win this flip, because otherwise we're going to be a lot of problems. So annoying that they win every friggin' flip. You feeling lucky, punk? Oh, they finally lost the flip. Yay! Yeah, we needed to draw one of our 1-mana spells there. Either Bolt, Spike, or Skewer. We just kind of got that. Losing that Lightning Helix to that Frantic Sliver probably actually cost us the game. But, oh well. Sure, opponent, good luck. Got a 2-lander on the play. This hand's a keep. We got 1 drop into spells. It's going alright so far. We're 1-1. We beat Sultai Shadow and lost to Slivers so far. How are you doing tonight? Okay, interesting. Goodbye, Boros Charm. Another discard spell would kind of suck. So we're getting Liliana next turn. That my guess. Potentially up against Pox here. Okay, no, it looks like we're up against good old-fashioned Jun, but we could still lose. Or we could be up against, whatchamacallit? The black-red Rakdos midrange, whatever. Guess we'll find out if they get a forest here. Nope, they're Jund. Okay. Sure, please cast that Thoughtseize. Oh, you're no fun opponent. Upkeep fetch here for Searing Blaze purposes. Put you to 6. Cycle of Caves. Alright, we're on the clock. Looks like we need to hit runner. Well, I mean, get the first of the runners. So our opponent can deal 7 this turn. So even if they had Mountain Bolt, we're not dead. Would Bloodbraid Elf do it? No, Bloodbraid Elf would be 6/9 max. If they had Bloodbraid Elf into Bolt plus Bolt, we'd be dead. So 1 top deck for the win. Don't think that's going to quite do it. I don't think that's going to buy us a redraw. Yep, opponent with the smart move here. Going to 1. Let's do a drum roll. And got the land. Relics and Paths in. Searing Blaze is very iffy against them. Like, it's okay against Bloodbraid and whatnot, but it's very awkward in some spots. Where are my next cuts? Try like this. I honestly don't know. I'm still kind of trying to settle on what decks to play right now. Like, I don't have as much time as I used to, so I'm trying to settle on like some type of rotation where I can do consistent content for 2, maybe 3 decks tops. Sand seems fine. Hand is a little glutted. I think we let them take the bolt if they want. I take a Boros Charm, interesting. Gives away a little bit of information, but I'd rather hang on to the fetch land for... I guess I don't need to hang on to the fetch land because I don't have any Searing Blazes in my deck. Let's use Thirst. Sure. Does that mean our opponent have another discard spell? Tarmogoyf's a 5/6. I'd love to draw a... What would I love to draw? A Path, maybe? Bloodburied Elf. Clothis. Well, that's certainly a magical card. Guess we get to work with a little bit more information here. Mana could be tight. Alright, well, we just get the win, so. Matchups against Jund are always close. Again, relics feel pretty solid here. Vortex might be a thing, especially over Eidolon on the draw. Try like that. That's a lot of paths. Still think we keep this hand, but it is close, especially on the draw. Really need to draw land. Next turn. work. Interesting. You can draw too many Path to Exiles. Just saying. Especially if this is a Liliana, which it looks like it is. Yep. Is it too much to ask for like an Assassin's Trophy or something? Tarmogoyf, sure. Don't think we're winning a protracted battle here. I think they have to take Path. It's possible I was supposed to Lava Spike and hold up Path there. So we're dead no matter what we do here, right? There's like no series of draws that gets us out of this. Got to pitch Skewer here. Yep. Alright, well, 1 and 2 start so far to this league. I think that's where I'm going to call it tonight. Both our losses were close matchups so far. Front Ticket Freet was kind of a frustrating when our opponent hit 3 out of 4 flips. Jun's always a close matchup. You know, we had a top decks to win their game 1, and then game 3. I think there was some sequencing errors on my part in game number 3. Yeah, beyond that, I don't really have a whole lot. I still like some number of relics against the Tarmogoyf decks. They're making a resurgence. Maybe 4 path is too many against Jund. That's always a tricky one to debate. Like, how many paths are too many paths? So, yeah. Well, thank everybody for hanging out tonight. Sorry we didn't get to finish the league tonight, but I will be finishing up sometime the next day or two. So it'll be up on YouTube here in a couple days. So as always, if you like this kind of content, please consider giving us a follow here on Twitch and subscribing to us over on YouTube. The link is down below. And I hope everybody has a good night. This has been John for MTG Nexus.